Maya. Does it mean imagining something? Living in a make-believe world? Or not seeing something, even if it exists? My mom always told me that the city and I have a connection. That of our names, Maya. I wonder how much of me is my name. Maya Nagari, or the city of illusions, is how this city has been known. 7 islands once formed this beautiful bay. And today, it is all one big city. Mumbai. It's a place that gives me the power to imagine and where miracles take place. I want to travel, explore, and make the impossible happen. This city makes me believe in having dreams and achieving them. Mumbai not only fulfills dreams, it makes you aspire for more than what you have ever dreamt of. Such is the power of Maya Nagari. No time to fret or look back, only to look ahead. I see my dreams reflected in the slickness of glass and steel, the malls and the multiplexes. My life in Mumbai is so much about what I look forward to, that what is undesirable is discarded and forgotten in a second. I ignore the waste my dreams create and hope it disappears into deep black holes. Waste is not something I desire to see. Then why do I chance upon it every now and then? It seems unacceptable to me that trash should exist like this in front of my eyes, dirtying my world. But where would this thing go? In the dustbin? Where does it go from there? Out of my house. And then, out of my sight. That's where it is fine. But out of my sight at home is on the streets. Then it doesn't belong to the street too. If not the street, then where? Somewhere where I can't see it. Out of my world.
Because waste leaves every day from a household in the morning, people don't think about it. It's a very clear situation of out of sight, out of mind.
Everybody just keeps one dustbin, puts all of their waste together into one plastic bag, locks it up, keeps it outside their house, and then just forget it. Then you don't want to discuss garbage at all.
First we mix everything up and then we expect somebody to sit and sift through it and sort it out. That's an extremely inhuman thing to do.
You know, I'm not littering, I'm at least putting it in a bin. And for me, as a person, I think that is the problem of waste, putting it in any bin. because all bins lead to the landfill.
Municipal corporation collects it, takes it to a dump, puts it over there. And how many of the citizens of Mumbai would actually go to the dump and see what it's like? You know, they aren't going to spend any amount of time over there.
Close to about 8,500 metric tons of garbage is generated a day.
And they're going to stay like that for the next several hundred years, because they're going to leach, you know, toxins into the groundwater. They're just going to clog our rivers and streams and, you know, the sea.
Because of the fact that unless you see what's happening and how the dumping ground is reaching its capacity, you won't feel the urgency of the problem at hand.
You'll have to fill in some lakes or create specific pits where you'll have to fill that thing. It will leach, it will pollute your underground water bodies.
We now have technological and engineering processes which can take the waste generated by you as far away from you. Which means that what you see in the city is a very clean, sanitized, everything is, your streets are swept and everything is clean.
This whole perception that I have a lifestyle in Bombay and that's what I'm happy with, that's my aspiration, and I don't want to change it. You know, you ask me to stop and segregate, you ask me to start composting, you ask me to start drinking nariyal pani, or you ask me to, you know, make chakli choda at home. I don't want to do that.
It is then that the magic of Mayanagri strikes me, where everything unwanted is stacked far away and out of sight. And I live in the illusion of having chucked waste with no consequences. I move beyond my previous question of what happens to waste to why is there so much waste. This pushes me to think on some of the choices I make. On a hot day, I choose a can of Coke for my thirst, my packet of chips for food, and enjoy being in the cool confines of a mall. This desire of good life influences my choices, and I go on consuming and disposing as if it has no impact whatsoever. Today, I have a product. Tomorrow, I have waste. This is Maya, where I have been so unaware of a reality, even though it stares at me every now and then. Each of us inhabiting this city is a part of this Maya. In an age where race, caste, gender or money can play a big role in creating divisions, we seem to have ignored the biggest binding factor. We have looked everywhere for a universal commonality, but here is an identity which can bring us all together, and yet we don't see it. The identity of being a waste creator, that of being an irresponsible disposer. Is this urbanization, where my aspirations make me see what I want to see? And I believe I'm living a life without any side effects. With every flush I pull, I enjoy a clean toilet. With every piece of waste I chuck, I enjoy a clean house. My aspirations and the city create a cutoff between my choices and its impact. It's a one-way relationship with nature, where what comes into my house is important, not what goes out. Is this the story of my life and this city? Or is it a story of every city? What does nature mean to a city dweller like me? It means the trees, sea, forests, rivers, mountains and the streams, distant and beautiful in my mind. We use nature to construct the concrete walls of my house, glass for my windows, my laptop, the AC in my room and the packet of biscuits. But do I know the nature of everything that man has made? Does the man-made always blend back with nature? Or does it oppose it?
And the whole perception that real good nature is something which is very far away. It's not in the cities, it's 200, 500 kilometers away, or it's in Africa, or it's in Alaska. And when you go for a nature trail or a ecotourism holiday kind of a thing, that's when you experience nature.
Nature isn't something outside of us that we can, stand and look at. We're in it. We're right in the middle of it. Unlike the scientific experiment where you're standing and observing something happening, here you can't observe without affecting it.
If we don't start thinking in a conscious way that we want to reduce our impact on the environment, then by the sheer eating, sleeping, drinking and going to work, we are going to create a huge negative impact on the environment.
So we're getting into this phase where everybody wants to have their own apartments, maybe 2 or 3 cars and all the conveniences of material life, without looking at what sort of, where is it coming from, where is it going? None of these questions are being answered.
And I think it is this aspiration, this vision that we've come up with, कि घर जाके we have a nice cushioned, good furniture, good TV, good things to eat, and that's it. Maybe a weekend here and a weekend in a good restaurant should be good.
This is where we are talking about responsible urbanization or irresponsible urbanization. Whether as a culture, as a society, we want to be responsible for all aspects of our living, or are we just interested in, I want my house, I want my office space, my money making avenues and then my entertainment avenues, and that's it, and just ensure that I get all of these, and I am not bothered about how we get all of these or what are the impacts of all of these.
I might sound like a traditionalist, but there is some emptiness inside which people try to fill with consumption, which is bound to happen, in my opinion, when communities are no longer that bonded. When you try and find gratification in things that are not necessarily fulfilling, you try and consume more and more to hide that emptiness. So that's the other reason why it's associated with happiness, but doesn't end up making people feel any happier.
If one starts looking at trying to solve the whole problem at one go, that's going to not be possible. It's going to scare you, in fact. And that's where a lot of people are very cynical, that they look at the whole scale and they say it's not possible to deal with it, so let's just not do anything about it. But then that's not an answer either.
Small choices, individual choices really are the most powerful thing, and what you do with your behavior, what you decide to consume, what you not decide to consume, how much of everything you decide to consume, how much less you decide to consume, after you've consumed, what you decide to do with your waste.
And see, where is the waste going? Can I do something else with it? Can I give it to rag pickers, or can I use some of the wet waste and use it in my garden, or use it for composting somewhere, or give it to some group which is doing it?
We have such huge amount of awareness about everything, but that leap of faith between awareness and action seems to be really the critical missing point.
There's something so phenomenal about class. It gives me a sense of being out there, being one with the world, yet maintaining a certain distance. The distance from the crowd, the heat and the smell. I feel I'm out there, experiencing the world, yet not there. It gives me a sense of exclusivity and choice. Seeing things from a distance is Maya. And I live in Maya. Tomorrow is another day. 20 million people and I will be up early to chase our dreams. It can be tough being in a city. We often have to nudge each other to find our space and fulfill our dreams. I wonder how we will get nudged back by nature for all the nudging we are doing to it. Am I just chasing the image of a happy life, or am I actually moving closer to it? I want to move on from Maya to reality, from where I am to where I want to be.